Morning, folks. Another new day, and it's time to get back in the semi today. So let's get all our stuff packed up here, clean up everything, organize it all as quickly as humanly possible. Get it into the pickup. Let's go see how that Western Star is doing. Come on, Diesel, let's go outside. Let's check out what's going on out here. Oh, yes. Oh, what a beautiful camping day. Wonderful, wonderful. What do you think, Diesel? You like it? Watch out for ticks, man. Lots of ticks out here. It's the only bad thing about camping at this time of year right now. It's tick season, so there are tons of ticks everywhere. You always got to check yourself and pull them off. You got to watch out for the deer ticks because they're the ones that carry Lyme disease. But for the most part, it's nothing really to worry about. It's just something to keep your eye on. And off we go. Unload into the big truck and start headed down where, well, I'm assuming they're headed down south. They may not be south. They haven't told me where I'm going yet. I emailed in this morning and asked, hey, how's it looking? I'm ready to go. And he says, looking good. When will you be here? On my way. No idea what they got for me yet, so I like surprises. I'm getting a little excited, a little anxious. I haven't even sat in the semi since the last trip we were out. That was a while ago already. A couple of weeks. I am pumped to get back in the truck. I'd say, you know what, I'd go out and stay out for 2 months, but let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away, okay? I'm excited. I don't care where I'm going. I just want to go. All right, let's start her up. Let's start her up. Oh, where's the key? There we go. All right, you ready? Ready for it? Wait for it. Here we go. There she is. For the first time in a long time, we have the air conditioning cranked in this truck in Manitoba. It's hot out. It's probably about 25 degrees Celsius out here in the 80s of Fahrenheit. Too bad we're leaving. But we have some good news. We have been told our destination. We are headed down towards Atlanta, Georgia. Going right back down to the south, except this time we're taking the big truck. It's going to be a little bit more of a comfortable ride, I think. United States Border Station, Pembina, North Dakota. Once again, hey Diesel? Once again. Back to the normal bump and grind. Is that what they call it? Back to the normal stuff. On our way down to Georgia. So we're going to drive 300 miles or so today, 350 miles, probably about until midnight. Half a day, and then we're gonna shut her down for the night, and we got 2 full days after today to get there yet. So you might think that traveling in your personal vehicle would be a little more comfortable than traveling in a big truck. It's actually the opposite. These trucks today are built for the long haul and for comfort. Now, the more money you spend, the more comfort you get. Like, I wish I could have that Bose seat in my truck here. That would be amazing. That seat was incredible. It was all computer technology too, eh? That was amazing. But we'll deal with what we got. We'll head her on down south. We'll drive into the night tonight, so it's going to get dark soon. Even though the sun stays up a lot later on the clock than it did in wintertime. It makes it feel like the days are longer. So it should make this day feel a little easier than it would have in the wintertime. Because in the wintertime it would have been dark already. It would have felt like we were getting a much later start than we already are. Welcome to North Dakota. Legendary, according to that sign. Legendary. Back in America, we're gonna make our way down to, once again, pretty much the same route that I took down on the way to Florida. Exactly almost the same route. We're gonna take the road probably that I took, let's see here, on the way back up. We'll go to Minneapolis and head down into Iowa from there. Or we'll go all the way through Wisconsin. That's what Mandy's telling me. No, wait, never mind. She wants me to go all the way down to Kansas City, then around. Okay then. Well, whatever route I decide to take, going down to Georgia. We'll be there not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow in the evening. And as the sun goes down, we switch cameras and we start using our Canon again. Until I can get this lens cleaned, I have to be careful when I use this camera. I've explained it in past vlogs and whatnot, so you guys understand. I want you to know because I know some of you are concerned about it. I did bring my hat. So we're here at the rest area, just south of Grand Forks. Well, sort of halfway between Grand Forks and Fargo, North Dakota. Very similar climate and terrain as back home. We're only, what, 2.5 hours south into the United States, so obviously it's very similar here. You can see on the trees out there a little bit, and over here that they've started budding a little bit more than the trees back home in Manitoba. But the further south we go, the greener it gets. So my tooth is giving me a little bit more of a problem today than it has so far, which is strange, right? Because I've had no pain for the first 2 days, no pain. Now today's the third day after I've had my wisdom tooth pulled out on that side on the bottom. Suddenly today it decides, you know what, I'm gonna mess with you, Trucker Josh, and I'm gonna cause you a little bit of discomfort, and actually we're gonna cross the line over into some pain. Really? 3 days later, like we could have gotten this all over with while I was at home, right after I pulled it out, but that's been bothering me a little bit today. It's expected, but it's nothing this guy can't handle. It's just a little tooth pain, a little toothache. What do you want to call it? Because there's no tooth there. It's a hole ache. Where the tooth used to be, there's a hole. And it's healing itself, right? And it's very hard for me to stop playing with it with my tongue in my mouth, right? Like that. And every time I do that, it irritates it more, right? So I gotta make a conscious decision and be very careful to just be still and not touch it with my tongue or poke it with my finger like that or anything. So I'll give it a day or two, it'll be all healed up and we'll all be good to go again. But just so the record shows, 3 days later, if any of you are ever getting a tooth pulled, the pain could start 3 days later. And for myself also, when I'm looking back on my life and I remember that day when I got that wisdom tooth pulled, I'll remember, oh yeah, that's right, that pain came 3 days later. That was weird. So this is me to future Josh. Don't get all cocky because you got a tooth pulled with no pain. Alright? It could come later. That would be the state of North Dakota's flag beneath the American flag there. North Dakota seems to be like one of those states that nobody talks about much. Unless if you're from Manitoba, then everyone knows everything about North Dakota. Because as weird as it sounds to you Americans who live in other parts of the country, especially down south or out west or anywhere else but here, even in New York, North Dakota is the image of the United States to us in Manitoba, Canada. That's what we think of when we think of the United States. The first thing that comes into my head when I see the American flag is I think of North Dakota. Wide open plains and prairie, which is exactly like Manitoba, right? So I always say, oh, it's very similar to Manitoba. It's all good. Very few people, lots of farmers. That's America. Don't fall into that trap. America's a big, big place with many, many different areas and regions. They got deserts, they got mountains. They got the south, they got the north, they got the Midwest, they got the Pacific Northwest, they got the Southwest, they got like Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada. Very, very, very different places. Just like Canada. That's what I always tell people. When you think of Canada, don't just think of Toronto. Alright, that's like looking at, you know, Omaha, Nebraska, and saying, hey, the entire United States is just like Omaha, Nebraska. Omaha is a great city. Nothing wrong with Omaha. But there's many different places. Just like in Canada, there's many, many different people and places. Wherever you go, little different subcultures, different accents that people talk with. I have a Canadian accent, they say. No, I don't have a Canadian accent. I have a prairie accent. I live in the prairie region. You go to British Columbia, above Washington State, they're gonna sound a lot more like people from Seattle. You go, because they're just right above there, right? You go over to Toronto, it's sort of like, they'll sound very much like people of the states around them there, right? You go out to Newfoundland, they got accent all to their own out there. Very different than anywhere else. You go to the Maritimes, Nova Scotia, the East Coast, they speak different there too. You go to Quebec, you will definitely hear an accent in Quebec. They have a French accent. It's not like France French, it's a Quebec French. Never go to Quebec and compare them to France. Just a little insider tip for you. Never go there and say, hey, this feels just like France. Hey, you sound just like France. They are not France, they are Quebec. Don't make that mistake of comparing the two. Quebec is different. I thought they were the same too. But anyways, enough yibber yabber. Let's head on down the road. I got about at least another 3 hours I want to get behind me today yet. I'll probably push it and do another 4. Got lots of time in my logbook. I can go another like 8 or 9 if I want to, but we'll see how long. I'd like to sleep off this little bit of a toothache so far yet, and then see how I feel in the morning. I'm sure a good sleep will do me good. Another day, another penny, another nickel, maybe even $1. Wow! We made it to Avon, Minnesota. This is where I decided to throw in the hat. Is that the saying? Is that how the saying goes? What do I know? So, we're gonna sleep here and continue here from here tomorrow morning. We got about 2,000 kilometers to go. That's how many miles is that? 1,240? 1,240 miles approximately. Let's just say round it up to 1,200 miles. We'll do that in the next couple of days. So I'm really looking forward to getting back to my regular routine. Today was just sort of getting back into the swing of things. There's my bed back there. I've been sort of missing it. I sleep really well in the truck all the time. This is where I spend most of my life, and this, I guess, sort of feels like home to me, even though it's not home. But it's home away from home. So thanks for joining me today. Tomorrow we'll continue from right here. I'll see you then. Down below in the description there's links to past vlogs of mine over the past couple of years. You can go and see what I was doing on this day 2 years ago. It's down below in the description. Lots of videos out there on the internet for you to watch of mine. Hope you guys have fun. Go check them out. I'll see you tomorrow.